Hey guys, first regards in here, and I'll be talking about a melee Vanguard build for Space Marine 2 patch 12.2. Now, in this build, we will be using the newly buffed Retribution perk. This one got buffed in the patch 12.2 hotfix, and now it has a melee damage increase of 30% when your ranged weapons magazine is empty, up from a 25% buff. Now, I'll be honest, this perk is not very strong at all for multiple reasons I'm going to explain here. First of all, the 30% melee damage buff here is not taking your Relic Tears weapon into account. It is talking about a 30% buff based on the damage of your standard issue weapon. This is the same way the perk here on Inferno Pistol functions with motivated melee, but they do stack together, and even though the damage increase is not as substantial as 50% total might imply, some damage is better than no damage, and it's kind of like a little neat perk interaction, so I will be building around that today. Now, for the primary melee weapon here, I do take the Balanced Chainsword today, mainly because in patch 12, all of the balanced weapons got like a 15% base damage buff for the most part. This one now has a 20 strength, 7 speed, and 10 cleaving potential, which is a really strong option. And on the Vanguard especially, the perk down here in our perk tree, Swift Recovery, that gives us double CHP recovery on heavy attacks, that stacks very well with our starting perk here, because we also get 50% bonus CHP recovery on like all melee attacks anyways on this class, so really good at like surviving hordes on this option. Now for the rest of the perk tree, I do take Perpetual Strength first, moving here into Perpetual Strength and Perpetual Strength again for a 10% melee damage buff, and then I grab the perk here, Reverberating Impact. Stomp AoE radius increases by 50%. The Stomp AoE radius here is just way better than the perk down here for an increased light combo. Light combos aren't that strong anyways in this game, and even with a 7 speed, you're better off just taking the Stomp perk in my opinion. The next perk here is Combined Onslaught. Light combo attacks with this weapon deal 10% more melee damage. Moving here into the perk Heavy Onslaught. Heavy attacks with this weapon deal 15% more melee damage, and the final perk I take down here is Full Throttle. Not for the actual charge attack, but mainly because there is a combo skip with this perk. It did get nerfed a little bit a while back. There's like a bit of a delay after the combo skip. It does let you like skip over one step into your stomp and stuff like that. Next perk here is Hard Target, and the final perk in the overall tree is Majora Slayer, though alternatively you could go down here for Extremis Slayer and Menorah Slayer. That is up to you, but Hard Target I think is actually pretty good in the 7 speed weapon, and Majoras are everywhere in this game, so hopefully that gives you an idea of how to build your Chainsword. Now for the primary ranged weapon, I do take the Heroic Instigator Carbine. This is a pretty damn strong weapon in the game, especially for Vanguard, mainly because the base firepower here is way better than every other Instigator option, and the Heroic perk effect gives you a 5-round burst rather than a 3-round burst, and overall, this is just the best Instigator in the game currently. There's like no reason to use the Relic Tier options at the moment, so hopefully they buff these someday, but for now, I would just pick this one up. Now, for the perk tree here, we just go for ammo economy first with things like Extended Magazine into the perk here, Reloaded Restoration. After reloading, your ammo reserve is restored by 50% of the number of enemies hit, cannot exceed maximum ammo capacity. The Vanguard class is actually pretty ammo inefficient, so having this perk helps you out a ton. It is a very noticeable ammo economy increase, so I'd definitely pick this up. Next perk here is Divine Might into the perk Increased Capacity for even more ammo. And then I grab the perks here with Great Might, the perk down here Home Precision for better hip fire, and one of the best perks in the game with Recoupment. Killing a Majora's level or higher enemy with a headshot with this weapon restores an armor segment. The cooldown is 15 seconds. The drip-fed armor restore in this game is incredible. This perk will prevent so much damage for you, especially on classes like Sniper, but even here on Vanguard. Being able to get back armor on a 15-second cooldown just helps prevent chip damage and melee attacks, so a really good option. And the next perk I take is, of course, Tactical Precision. Headshots deal 20% more damage, and non-headshot damage decreases by 10%. Headshot damage is all that matters on this weapon still. Pretty much every bolt weapon in the game requires headshots to do like any notable damage. They did say they'll buff up the body shot damage one day, but for now, definitely pick this up because headshots are all that matter. Next perk is Headhunter for even more headshot damage, and the final perk is Rapid Health. When your health is below 30%, killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores health by 10%. This is just a free HP restore and actually pretty easy to pull off on this weapon. Even though we are taking Adrenaline Rush on this build, more healing is always pretty good, and this one also helps you out in a bit of a pinch because the healing here is a little bit faster at times. Now, you may be wondering why I didn't go all the way down the tree for things like Inspired Aim or the perk down here, Death Strike. These can give you like situationally more damage than this build would, but for the most part, the base damage here is actually better than if you were like go all the way down the tree. And also the perk investment here is just way too much in my opinion to go all the way down to these perks here, and you're better off just taking things like tactical precision and recoupment anyways. And that's why we set it up this way, and that's all there is the heroic instigator. Now for my secondary weapon, I do take the Inferno pistol on the ranged rate of fire variant, mainly because all we really want from this gun is like one super long range shot, because we will be building into the perk here motivated melee just like our retribution perk on our actual perk tree. And for this to actually function, we do have to have our magazine empty, and using the perk down here, one shot that increases your damage by 50%. It makes it so the weapon only holds one cartridge. It makes that much easier, so we're going to be building around that today. So number one here, I take Divine Might into the perk here motivated melee, into the perk Great Might perpetual range for even more range, then move here into the perk fast reload no fear, and then we grab of course a one shot, and the final perk is rapid health, which is actually pretty easy to trigger here. This gives us multiple sources of HP healing on this build from Adrenaline Rush, and then 2 rapid health perks on both of our ranged weapons, so pretty good option there. And that's pretty much all there is for the secondary weapon. Now for the Vanguard perk tree, I do take the perk here, Melee Mastery first. Melee damage increases by 10% against Majora's level and higher enemies. This is a nice little melee damage buff, though unfortunately the damage calculation of this is actually bugged to not be multiplicative like Sniper's is, which does kind of suck, so hopefully they fix that one day. But they also buffed up the perk Moving Target this patch, and this one still sucks. It says killing an enemy from a distance of more than 30 meters restores ability charge by 10%. 30 meters is just way too far, especially for a Vanguard class. Like, usually Vanguard is grappling in anyways, so being 30 meters away from an enemy, this happens like very rarely in this game. And like the 10% back on that, it's just not a very strong perk, so I would pick from like one of these two options. I think Upper Hand is the overall best, because no knockback will just save your life in this game and make meleeing like easier in general. So if you want to pick this one up, you definitely could. I'm just going for full melee today, so I'm picking up Melee Mastery. Next perk here is Conviction. When your armor is fully depleted, you will take 25% less health damage for 10 seconds. A 25% health damage reduction in Space Marine 2 is very substantial. This will save your life, especially when stacked with perks down here like Launch Restoration and Restoration for armor restored back on a drip feed, which makes it very easy to continuously trigger this perk. So a really great perk here. Next perk here is, of course, Retribution. When your ranged weapons magazine is empty, melee damage increases by 30%. This will stack with your Inferno pistol for a 50% melee damage buff here, which is pretty nice. Obviously, it's not as good for the reasons I previously mentioned as it could be, but it's still a pretty decent perk option, though probably the weakest in this column by far. Next perk here is Inner Fire. All team members can restore ability charge by 15% by performing finishers on Majora's and higher enemies. Now, I'm not picking up the team healing perk here, mainly because I'm building around tenacity and collateral damage here, which means we get more diving kick damage, and Inner Fire means more diving kicks, and more diving kicks means more damage, so pretty obvious synergy there. Next perk here is Collateral Damage. Diving Kick deals 50% more damage and additionally damages enemies on the way to the grapple launcher's target. When you combine this perk with the perk over here, Tenacity, after a range kill of a Majora's level or higher enemy, Diving Kick's damage increases by 130% with a 15-second cooldown. You can put out a ridiculous amount of damage sometimes. You will like one-kick Majora's, one-kick Zoanthropes. Really fun build option to use. Obviously, Tactical Prowess and Zone of Impact are a better combo, but as far as just like fun is concerned, I think this one's just way more entertaining for like a melee build on this one. Next perk here is Combat Readiness. Grapple Launcher recharges 20% faster. For the same reason as Inner Fire, more grapples means more damage, so I pick both of these up. Final perk here is Adrenaline Rush. The melee kills on Majora's level and higher enemies restore health by 5%. Most players who play Vanguard want him for his heals, so at least having one of these two perks I think is like a good option for that. If you want to skip over this for like Tactical Prowess even and still pick up Zone of Impact, I guess you could. Or you can even take like an Emperor's Blessing here if you really wanted to, but I'm picking this one up today just to like have a little bit of healing on this build. Now, as far as the prestige perks are concerned, I still take Battlefield Awareness first. If a target is within 8 meters, you will deal 10% more range damage. Being able to just one burst an enemy off a diving kick with your Heroic Instigator is really nice with this perk. And also, being within 8 meters of an enemy happens all the time on Vanguard because Vanguard has a grapnel launcher, so a really good synergy. Next perk here is Fortitude. Health increases by 15%. Moving here into the perk Launch Restoration. Using the grapnel launcher restores an armor segment. When you have perks like inner fire and combat readiness on top of this one, you are going to be getting so much free armor back. More grapnels not only gives you more iframes because grapnel launcher has iframes across the entire trajectory, but also just means more armor and just more opportunities to move yourself out of bad positions. So I think for the most part, a launch restoration and inner fire on top of perks like this can be safer if you were playing better, which is why I overall prefer them on the Vanguard class. Next perk here is Restoration. Killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores an armor segment. The cooldown is 15 seconds. This is just a free armor restore on a drip feed. I don't think it's quite as good on Vanguard as launch restoration is for the reasons I previously mentioned, but it's still a great like secondary option for armor restore. If you want to skip this for like Indomitable Spirit for no knockback on gun strikes, you could definitely do that, because on this build I am not taking upper hand. You know, you could just pick this one up instead and completely circumvent this option, but that is up to you. And that's pretty much all there is for this build guide, guys. I think the Vanguard's newly buffed Retribution perk is okay. It does feel pretty fun to use the Inferno pistol, but hopefully they do fix up the damage calculation of these perks eventually. And for now, I would pretty much never touch Melee Champion because it actually has like the same damage calculation as this perk, and this one is just pretty shit. So like hopefully they fix these perks someday, but that's all I'm going to be talking about in this one, and hopefully this build guide helped you. And if you like content like this, subscribe for more. And if you want to come hang out with me live and ask me questions about the game, you can find me here on YouTube or on Twitch with a link in the video description alongside a link to my community Discord. And as always, guys, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye. So when they bring back the Artificer block, that's what we're using. A lot of shit spawning up, you know. Battle power unleashed. It always feels like more than it actually is when you're a Vanguard, though, because Vanguard has god-awful loss damage. The best primary for Tech Marine, grenade launcher, Perk can be bolt rifle, or just normal bolt rifle. Oculus bolt carbine is pretty good too. That's not where I want to go at all.
The Codex demands it.
See, that was okay. As you get a little AoE thing. Dude, got so many fucking sword warriors here. Right, I guess I have to do it down here. I might be able to collateral damage some of these guys, but that wouldn't be a bad idea. I'm sure that did something.
The Codex demands it. Tyranids have no
Oh, if I can get up there. When's the next update? Soon.
Readying next volley. Only twitching Xenos carapaces.
The best build for heavy at the moment, probably heroic heavy plasma, or heroic heavy vulture. Multi-melt is also very strong, but awesome. The second time this mission's done this to me today.
Munitions here. Executing countermeasures. Fester and rot. Xenos abomination. Reloading. Alien bioform marked.
I love being punished for playing melee class in this game.
Increasing responsiveness.
How dare I?
Synaptic servant slaughter. Executing countermeasures. The Codex devices. Their numbers are no match for ours. Battle power unleashed. Frag grenade deployed. Changing magazine. There is a look sniffing around. Inserting fresh magazine. The lictor stood no chance. Alien bioform. Ordnance out.
Okay, no ammo. No problem. Prepare to be kicked. You'll be kicked again shortly. Or cut down.
Activating war. Tyranid has no right of attack.
Now we're like guaranteed to find an ammo cache up here. FTG, is she the one that she won't let us name our kid Sanguinius? No, I'm afraid not, brother. That's an immediate divorce, I'm afraid.
Inserting fresh magazine.
Will there be any other resources backways in the next update? Yeah, I gotta get them through siege mode now. Dante is a cool secondary. Try Dante. Yeah, Dante is more acceptable by, like, you know, normal humans as like as a normal name for a person. Sanguinius is a little bit like, huh?
You're here. Now what, Captain? Talassa, you need to acquire the Astra Militarum demolition codes required to deploy and arm their ordnance. Source one from any soldier you see, alive or otherwise.
Dante's too biblical? Yeah, because people never name their children after anything in the Bible ever. Like half the names in the US like Bible names. That was almost super fun. I was almost having like more fun I've ever had in this game right there. That's crazy. I can't believe that like it let me live and I stopped having fun. Nuts. Jake is a cool name. Name your son after Jake Sully. I'm not so sure about that one.
A waste of time. Got them. That's it. We are ready to get the demolition started. Proceed to the Promethium refinery and complete the demolition preparations.
Make your kid's full initials FTG. Well, wouldn't that require him to like have a last name that starts with G? It's simple, change your last name. Jake Sully is Na'vi God Emperor. I don't know if that's how I'd call it.
Expunge.
Best secondary on sniper. It depends on the build, but like the throw bolt pistol is pretty good. Heavy bolt pistol, Inferno pistol even.
Alien biobombing. Their numbers are no match for ours. Readying.
A lot of guys. Just for an absolute, anyways.
Changing magazine. Rearming.
This is our first child. What should his first name be? First? I mean, that's about as good as calling your kid Adam, right? What are we gonna name our kid after? Oh, how about like the first guy ever? Let's call him that.
Alien biobomb eliminated.
Your name is John Adams. Like, how fucking more white bread can you get? That's like vanilla. That's like putting vanilla sprinkles on your vanilla ice cream.
Tyranids repelled, brothers.
Talassa, the Cadians are running out of time. How close are you to the Promethean facility? Reaching the facility now. You are making good time. We are going to need it.
Will your kid be named second tour guardsman? I mean, by then, they'll probably be like fourth tour guardsman anyways.
Subterranean detonation in the crude Promethean. Add one. Use the codes to bring the bomb and finishes deployment into the crude Promethean well. Cautiously. If you know what is good for you. Ready in payload delivery. Rites of activation have been observed. The generators hum in the machine god's name. Crane sequencing initialized. Delivering payload.
God, I hope the Raven Guard shit's cool.
Coming for generator 2.
That's generator 2, my second favorite generator.
Next disruption operation completed. Raising to the Omnissiah's proper alignment.
Subgrenade deployed. We live. Xenos die. Perfect balance.
I need you to burst all these guys.
Rearming.
That's not get why Vanguard can't have 3 armor, but he has Phobos. Because armor is lighter, technically. Everyone else wears Mark X. The real question is, why is heavy not 4? This is actually heavy armor. Dude, Butcher suck. What the fuck?
Executing countermeasures.
Rapid! Point for generator
They're
one!
all for you. From life.
My access of biological incursion generator. Write it down. Not found. Machine guns, blessed mechanisms with organic parts.
The new Blood Angel's Aggressor looks so good. Isn't it kind of just like the exact same as the old model they had? Or I'm thinking of the Intercessor one they did.
Overcrowding alert. Generator one. Unauthorized personnel. Observe your duties.
Readying next volley.
Demolition deployment sequence concluded. Nanobearers logged under the Omnissiah's watchful oculus. Captain, it is done. Now let us watch the Xenos burn.
Oh, they did grab this one? Yeah, that was one.
There is an observation platform overlooking the Cryptomedian fields. It will make a good vantage for your ambush.
Blood Angels Heavy has always been like a funny looking thing to me because when I think Blood Angels, I usually think like, I don't know, melee class, not like super heavy guns or anything like that.
Changing magazine.
I know they're Codex compliant, but like they never really felt Codex compliant on account of them going fucking insane, you know? Like, are they Codex compliant? Yes. Do they also have guys that want to like kill everything so it looks like Horus? Also yes.
Objective on the other side. No one throws. Striking down with haste. Reloading. Diggers Xenos love crawling creatures.
Alright, thanks game. Thanks for making me Gunstrike not the guy that can actually kill me. Maybe to rift my Gunstrike from the dude in front of me to the Minoris that I definitely wanted to kill. Thanks game.
Ravener destroyed.
That was almost bad.
Inserting fresh magazine.
That's why no knockback is such a strong perk effect. We don't have it on this build right now, so you do occasionally. I bopped a little bit.
The Codex demands it. Stand low before it calls for reinforcements. Tyranids have no mind with tactics. Inserting fresh magazine.
Is that just a pro chainsword skin, not the actual weapon? Yes, it's just a balanced relic chainsword. Why it's so fast? That's why it's so fast.
Changing magazine.
god, dude.
Focus fire on the Tyranid gunners.
It's just all...
Eliminate Xenos.
What the fuck?
Superior tactics bring victory.
All the things that could have dropped on me right there. Dropped that.
Increasing
You gotta be shitting me.
Readying next volley.
The game just stacks 2 biovores. That's a lot. Stack them all the time.
We have arrived at
How many bullets does a heroic weapon shoot per burst on this weapon? 5. The 5-round burst weapon.
Fight in the thick of these Xenos as long as you need. I will hold you.
A 5-round burst. Which heroic is the worst in your opinion? Probably the heroic Thunderhammer.
Changing magazine. Our adversaries are keen to lose again. Their numbers are no match for our troops. Rearming.
Quite the horde-filled mission.
Wonder how many I could down before they got me.
Fester and rot. Xenos abomination.
Really what I wanted, but
Battle power unleashed.
which Raven Guard successor do you think has the best drip? Probably Raptors or Blackguard. I mean, Necropolis Hawks actually are probably my favorite. But I do like the Blackguard as well.
Our orders are clear. Advance.
Charges set. And the swarm
Shock made.
approaches. Dig in. We need that bomb triggered for optimal yield. Orbital scan estimates the bulk of the swarm will not be in position for
If possible, they add the Orcs faction to this game. You're not going to find a new faction in this game anytime soon, I'll tell you that much. They said they don't plan to add that at all. It's not really in the scope of this game. First of all, the factions we have in-game currently aren't really fleshed out enough anyways. Tyranid's kind of are. Chaos is definitely not. It's getting there slowly, but...
The bulk of the swarm is continuing along the predicted path. Continue holding.
Chaos is just a chore. You're not really alone in that opinion. That's most of this game's community. I think 1,000 Suns were a really bad choice for Chaos Legion. Get me all the way over there. Perfect.
Halfway there, brothers. Keep it up.
Tyranid highways sighted. Executing countermeasures. Changing magazine. Tyranid.
Enough are after us.
I'm just bewildered why 1K Suns every Warhammer game. It's like, oh, we can't anything, just Nurgle for melee fighting, Word Bearers, World Eaters. Hello, yeah, there's World. Well, first of all, Word Bearers would have made way more sense because they have historical friction with the Ultramarines, but also 1,000 Suns are just lame as fuck.
Fully committed. Be ready for my mark.
Like, all right, like they're not even really a proper Legion anymore. They're all dust. And all their cool guys aren't in the game.
Synaptic servant slaughter. Activating war gear.
Oh, chat, what Legion do you guys want to see in the next game? For me, probably World Eaters. That would be preferable. FTG, did you play Space Marine 1? Yeah, I played a bit. I wasn't like super into it at the time, but I did play it. I haven't played the remaster.
You are clear to detonate. Cook those rotten bastards.
I mean, I would like to see Black Legion as well, because Black Legion are a Chaos Undivided, and I feel like Chaos Undivided opens up a lot of opportunities for some cool shit, but... goddamn. Anything but 1,000 Suns, you get me?
We shall see these dead bastards. Tyranid biocides down 90%.
Death Guard?
and falling. Swarm
I would not
annihilation
mind Death Guard.
Excellent work. Move to extract.
You know, we see Nurgle fucking everywhere in 40k games. You know, we never see Death Guard.
Extraction complete.
Like, where are the cool ones? I would argue the Death Guard are the coolest portion of the entirety of Nurgle's faction.
Commendable work, brothers. You honored your chapter. Be ready for rearm, refit, and redeployment immediately.
Space Marine 3 on Armageddon? It might be. Never know. But Space Marine 3 is going to be coming out for a long time. It depends on how much they know about like what Games Workshop is putting out. That game's already in development. By now, for sure.